Okay, this is the Green Enterprise IT Awards. This is the 5th year, I believe, we have done this, and we are delighted to share some really good, outstanding implementation actions with you. And you've heard me say from up here before that there's so much information, there are so many solutions, there's so many ideas, there's so many things to do, but we tend to stand around and wait for one more piece of knowledge before we implement. One more piece, one more idea, one more trailblazer. These folks that we're going to mention and share with you and congratulate tonight didn't wait. They just saw a problem, used the tools available to them, and solved it. So we're going to talk a little bit about the GEIT Awards. We had 110 countries, 110 companies from 20 countries. You can read that. These applications took a lot of effort to prepare, and they were screened by a group of esteemed judges, 20-some odd from 5 countries. You can read that as well. And we ended up with winners, finalists, and for the first time, some honorable mentions, where we just really felt that there were some companies that needed to be recognized for what they did that just didn't fit into the top piece. So this is a list of the judges. And judges, if you are in the room, if you would please stand up. These folks probably spent 2 or 3 days aggregately reviewing this material. Thank you very much. And this is a really neat team. I didn't get to interact with all of them. Sandra did. But the questions we got from them really reflected the knowledge level and the level of detail of their review that they were exposing or sharing and offering and applying to the candidates. So I'd like to have Mr. John Saby come up. And they graciously have agreed to sponsor the Green Enterprise IT Awards this year and have John say a couple of words about who Saby is and perhaps why they did what they've done to sponsor these awards. John?
Right here, Pete. Came from the other side of the stage.
Okay, here's your clicker.
There's a clicker. I get to follow you, and I also get to follow the Greenpeace guy.
Yeah.
The room's kind of cleared out a little bit from the Greenpeace pitch, but I appreciate everybody sticking around at least for the awards and hearing how those of us in the industry are actually trying to make strides and save as much energy and locate our facilities in some great spots. Figured I'd run through just a couple of slides. My marketing guys gave me a lot of slides. I won't go through all the slides, but let's see if I can get through at least a few of them. We get the obligatory statistics sign, which is there's a lot of data and a lot of storage being created in the next few years. What that tells us is all of us in here, we're very fortunate to be in this industry, in the data center industry, because it is an absolutely exploding industry, and there's lots of opportunity for all of us. But with that, we also consume a lot of energy. You heard the Greenpeace guy talk a little bit about 2% metrics. That's about where if you look through the statistics, it's about what we consume as an industry of the world's available energy sources. And we're creating about 2% of the carbon footprint. I'd love to stand up here and actually talk with him, because some of the government incentives that we try to broad brush the entire industry with work in some areas of the country or the world, and in other places they don't work, as well as you have a hard time violating the laws of physics with respect to the transmission of data. And so data centers need to be where data centers need to transmit data. And it goes down to where can you get your data center solutions at the lowest cost in the areas that you need them. If you can make great green decisions to locate your facilities in very green areas, then that's a bonus. But you need to recognize that data centers need to be where they need to be for other reasons other than just the low cost or green energy electricity. But with that said, as I said, the incentives, this is actually a newspaper article that was published about a month ago in the Seattle Times, which is, I'm from Seattle. It's actually kind of funny because we give incentives to create wind farms in our area, and then the BPA at the same time, in the same newspaper, right below the article, is telling them not to run because there's too much water going through the dams, and they need to use the energies from the dams and not burn the energy through the windmills. Nevertheless, as I said, the industry is having a huge positive effect. She's talking about goals of trying to reduce greenhouse gases. The energy efficiency efforts that everybody, including everybody in this room, has been taking has reduced greenhouse gases by about 13%. The capital investment in this category is also huge, which this looks like another great place to be from a business standpoint, which is metrics of $45 billion annually spent on energy efficiency equipment and savings by 2016. That's a huge number. So where do you spend money that actually works? Some of the things that Saby is doing in our facilities, hyper-efficient mechanical electrical cooling systems, construction techniques and designs features, virtualization and cloud solutions, monitoring and management tools. You can read the rest of them there, but want to talk a little bit more about what we are doing. We're fortunate, or I'm fortunate, to have our company based in the Pacific Northwest, which is blessed with a large hydro solution. But we are also doing facilities in Ashburn, Virginia. He talked about that, and our newest facility is in Manhattan, which is obviously probably the second most expensive electrical data center market in the United States behind Hawaii. So anything that you can do to pick up efficiency in that market is a big saver. In Washington State, we try to put our facilities as close to the dam as possible and use hydropower to power much of our facilities. The facilities in Eastern Washington are 100% renewable, 98% hydro, 2% wind solar, and the wind solar actually drives up the electrical cost, not brings it down. We try to locate them close to minimize line loss for the electricity. And also in the city of Seattle, City Light is actually 100% carbon neutral. They don't have 100% hydro, but they're a very carbon neutral facility as well. It's one of the few urban areas that you can actually get a very green energy source for your data center solutions there. The other thing that being in the Pacific Northwest allows you to do is to use the outside air climate to actually cool your facilities. This technology actually is being able to be deployed, though, across a number of the northern regions of the United States, and even getting into the Midwest and even in the South. With the technology, we try to use both direct and indirect evaporative cooling systems in our facilities, which brings down obviously your PUE and is also another very green technology that can be deployed. You can see another picture of hot aisle containment, which is what we do in our facilities as well. You talk about trying to do just-in-time or modular builds, putting in equipment only when you need it, not at the very beginning, and try to keep your efficiency in your facilities down as much as possible. The other things, though, that a lot of us in the room as well also focus on, in our facilities in Eastern Washington, we try to recycle the water out there and use it for both humidification and for landscaping. We actually recapture some of the waste heat coming off the servers and use that to actually heat the office space and heat some other areas in the building. Reflective roofs in the hot areas to reduce greater cooling efficiency, the sunshades just to kind of bring it down, and then low maintenance plants means you've got desert stuff sitting outside your facility. We focus a lot on our energy management policies. People were talking about PUE here. I talked about the evaporative designs. But the other thing is actually aggressively going after the incentive programs that the power companies have. So if you're going to buy that very energy efficient piece of equipment or utilize energy efficient technology, there are incentives out there that can be used to bring your overall total cost in your facilities down. So that actually can have a much quicker payback in some of that. The other thing that is great is to actually have facilities where Greenpeace is actually on your side as opposed to up there beating you up a little bit. And so we do have some facilities that are in spots where Greenpeace is lauding. So thank you very much for letting us sponsor these awards. Congratulations to all the awards winners. We're going to get an opportunity now to tell the group individually who won the awards and what they did to win them. So once again, thank you very much, and we actually also have a booth over in the expo hall. Come by and see us and talk to us about our facilities. So thanks a lot. Thanks, Pitt.
Thank you, John. So let's stay up here, and Mr. Ken Brill, founder of the Uptime Institute, and John Ford. Where's John? There's John. Okay. Will join us for the presentation of the awards. There are 8 categories that you can see here. We'll talk about each one a little bit more. But again, 110 applications spread across these different categories. The first one is for simply audacity. It's an audacious idea, and it's something that's out of the box. It's something that you wouldn't necessarily expect. And it's really neat that a year ago, right here on this stage, Facebook introduced mechanical, electrical, and their management philosophy for one of their new data centers in Prineville, Oregon, I think it was. And that happened, this was one of, if not the first time they went public with that information. And what Facebook did was to understand their business requirements, because everything in a data center starts with the business requirements. And then they re-engineered the electrical system to respond to their business requirements, and they re-engineered their cooling system. They did a lot of stuff that other people have done with cooling. They did some very unique things on the electrical side. But what won them the Audacious Idea Award was not just their technical prowess. It was the fact that they took everything they did and put it in an open protocol access for the rest of the industry. And I understand that there are other companies that have now gone and extracted from that and have begun to do many of the same things in their data center. So, guys, if you'd come out here in the middle.
Sure.
I'd like to have Jay Pack, Director of Data Center Design Engineering, come on up. And as I said, it was what really pushed this over was the agreement to make everything they've done public. And that was just tremendous, because that is truly unusual. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm really honored to be here tonight. I wanted to make sure that I thank everybody here. On behalf of Facebook, I'd like to thank UTI judges who have reviewed our design and for this award. This is our fourth award, and truth of the matter is that we did not design the data center to accept the awards. It was our really a job, and we didn't want to lose our job, so that's why we did it. But anyway, so we're happy to be here tonight. I'd like to thank the few our partners. I'd like to thank first of all, I'd like to thank our design team. They've done a tremendous job to come up with this design, and our hardware engineering team who came up with the servers and very innovative power supplies design. Also, I'd like to thank architect engineers who work with us closely to get this job done, and our contractors, DPR Fortis, Rodent Electric, Apollo Mechanical, TCM, SVM, McKinney's, GE, Eaton, PDI, Liebert, and Starline. I thank you very much for your effort as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Jay.
Congratulations.
Okay, the next category is facility design and implementation, and this is for a new project. And as a new project, we don't ask that data come along with it. You'll see the next one is for a completed project, and we need a minimum of 6 months of data. But for the new one, we'll accept calculations. And for this one, this goes to Verizon, and I'd like Bob Barnack to come up, Director of IT, Data Center Facilities, Disaster Recovery, and everything else for Verizon Wireless. And this new site really, it did a lot of regular things with great results. They paid attention to the details. So they're using a mix of different cooling strategies. They're using VFDs, and they also worked hard on conserving the use of water and makeup water, so that they, in this project, in addition to delivering it in a very short period of time, obtained an Institute certification as well as LEED Gold, and that was well done. Thank you very much. You don't need to make any comments if you don't want to.
Stand in front of the screen.
You don't need to make Okay. Great. So facility design and innovation, this one does require data. And here we have, again, an illustration of people paying close attention to that which we all know, and then doing different things about how to solve the problem. So, whoops. Okay. I knew this was going to happen. Something's out of order here on my notes. That's a bad thing. So we have Bell Canada. Right. Bell Canada and Urbicon, Mark Burwash and Antonio Mancini. This new site used medium voltage UPS, no batteries, no batteries at all, and did a lot with outside air cooling. Their PUE is about 1.3, and they also got an Institute certification. Congratulations, gentlemen.
Congratulations. Congratulations. Good to see you again. Yep.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well done. Absolutely. Okay, this is facility product deployment. And here, again, we looked at a series of applications that looked at unique problems, perhaps not unique problems, but unique opportunities to solve the problems. And this award went to a combination of NTT Communications, who owned the site, and Vigilant. And so I would like Yunichi Oka, the Executive Vice President of NTT Worldwide Telecommunications, and Dr. Cliff Fettersfield, Founder, President, and CTO of Vigilant, to come on up. This was a virtualized cooling solution. And here they used control technology along with different cooling technologies to decide what the right solution was and optimize the performance point for each of the units that they chose to have operational. So they knocked their cooling requirements down by 20% just by doing a better job of matching up capacity and delivery. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, facility retrofit. I really loved one of the problem statements from this particular client submittal. So one of the goals of this retrofit was to demonstrate that relatively simple actions can yield dramatic results. So let's say that again. They wanted to demonstrate that relatively simple actions can yield dramatic results. So these folks reduced their cooling requirement between 70 and 90%, depending on the season. The National Snow and Ice Data Center and RHM Group.
Where's it located?
General Ron Weaver and Bill Green.
Congratulations. You got it. Congratulations.
Well done.
Where's your facility
done.
located?
In Boulder, Colorado.
Okay.
Well done. Thanks. Absolutely.
Nice words, too.
Thanks. Okay, it's important. We spent a lot of time talking about PUE. I might have mentioned it. The Bell Canada people talked about a 1.3. You know, some other people might be bigger, might be smaller. But it's really important to understand that PUE is not the end of the world measurement. It is a single metric in what should be a suite of metrics where the balance haven't yet been developed. So we spend all this time talking about PUE and bringing PUE down, and that's a good thing. It reduces energy consumption. Absolutely, we agree. But once PUE gets below 1.9, let's say it gets below 2.0, isn't the preponderant use to the left of the decimal place? It's the 1. If you have 1.2, 1.5, 1.6, pick a PUE. If it's less than 2, IT consumes more energy than the facility does. So we need to understand that we've got to look at the whole suite of operational tasks at a data center, not just the facility overhead. So here, this is IT product deployment, and this was really a fun one. I'm a facility geek, and so here we have Extreme IO and a confidential client who had a very, very large Oracle SAP spinning disk farm in a European operation, and they replaced the entire spinning disk farm with flash memory. Well, it improved response times between 5 and 10x, as well as reducing power, space, and cooling requirements. And you know, maybe if you even look at it, the PUE might have even gone up. But the point is, the site is using less energy, and that's what it's all about. So, Josh Goldman, Vice President of Marketing and Product Management for Extreme IO. Congratulations.
Congratulations very much.
Yeah. Well done. Well done. So IT retrofit. This idea just almost scares me. Just going in and changing IT, because it's so complex and there's so many pieces. You know, in this world, our hat has to go off to the AOL cowboys and cowgirls who attacked those servers and did just fabulous work. In this case, there was a data center in India. It was a pretty large site with a host of legacy problems, and they went after those legacy problems to recover capacity, reduce costs, and improve the mechanization and utilization of the IT asset. So Naresh Shah, from the Vice President of Engineering, Server, Storage, and Networking for ESSN in India. Well done.
Yeah.
Well done, sir. And of course, we have to have a modular product deployment. Dan, are you in the room? Dan Golding's not here. Okay, we can proceed. So in this case, the winner is eBay in combination with Dell. And Jeremy Rodriguez, Distinguished Engineer, and Mark Bailey, Principal Architect for Dell Data Center Solutions. These folks were doing a sticks and bricks facility. That's a great combination. They had a large sticks and bricks project going, and the delivery requirements got to the point where they couldn't wait for the sticks and bricks to get done, so they had to do something now. And what they did is they used a modular solution, put it on the roof, met the performance requirements, and made the business happy. Mixed technologies, you might say. Well done. Thanks. If you may, sure.
Really appreciate the Uptime Award for this category. I think we've driven a lot of innovation. Really appreciate the innovation that Dell brought to the table for eBay. And I hope everybody comes and sees our session on Wednesday, so we'll go into detail. And weren't those AOL people awesome? Yeah, wearing the cowboy hats up here? That's cool. Thanks, everyone.
Okay, you guys can go sit down if you would like.
Thanks. Thanks, good.
Mm-hmm. So, in addition to the winners that we've shared, I'd like to have the finalists stand up. They're probably in the front of the room. So the first one, Yahoo. This is kind of a next generation solution. Eliminated the need for air handlers and uses outside air ventilation. If just stand where you are, please. Let's hold our applause for all of them. The second one is Spurbank and Mercury Engineering. They did a great job of using a direct outside air, rather an indirect outside air solution in a major metropolitan area. This is in Moscova. And gee, that's a pretty polluted environment. They did some fabulous things. Texas Advanced Computing Center used a dielectric fluid and immersed the servers in the fluid. And what they found, and this sounds like Cray from days of old, but what they found is because of the ability to reject the heat, the server efficiency went up, the effort to remove the heat went way down, and they said that the combined power and cooling of the new solution used less energy than just the servers themselves in an air-cooled environment. That was pretty dramatic. Cisco, IT product deployment, building on a successful virtualization effort, also managed to reduce dramatically their deployment times and slashed power, space, and cooling requirements as well. On the IT retrofit, EMC, again, using IT support, saw a 97% growth, 49% reduction in power consumption, and took a 78% reduction of water use. Water, by the way, if you haven't figured this out yet, is yet another scarce resource on this planet. So if you can do things to reduce it, that's just golden. Okay, Arc Continuity and Red Engineering developed a quick-to-market modular data center, 99% outside air cooling, available in 17 weeks from order. And lastly, University of Leicester, upgrades from 2.3 to 1.2 on their PUE, so brought it down dramatically by using an indirect outside air cooling system. And the way they distributed their air, that system is really ambivalent to how the density of the racks vary as you move down a row of equipment. So that's our finalists. Let's give them a round of applause. Thank you very much. As you listen to this and see what these folks have done, I hope you get more and more excited about what you can do with the knowledge that you already have. So let's go one more batch. This year, for the first time, the judges felt that there were additional applicants that needed to be recognized because of the good work they had done, and so we decided to add these 5 honorable mentions. So the first one, Bent Broadband, Gold certified, Tier 3 certified, PUE of 1.2, Kyoto cooling, photovoltaic, flywheel UPS, whole series of good things, all brought together in one site. And again, let's hold your applause here. Facility design innovation, digital realty, 10-acre site, almost 12 megawatts, 100% free cooling, no mechanical refrigeration in the site. So well done. And that's a PUE of 1.1 and change. The ice cold used a synthetic refrigerant catalyst. We'll have to talk to them later to find out what that means. But a synthetic refrigerant catalyst, obviously to help improve the efficiency of how things work. The California Technology Agency, that's the IT organization for the state of California. And, here we are in the state of California. Everything's easy to do in California. After the governor got a bill passed that said the IT for California has to be in a certified Tier 3 facility, he then revoked all funding for everything in IT. So these folks did the impossible. 5-month effort. Oops, nope, that's NCAR. Sorry about that. Consolidated, reduced operating cost, got a site certified, and just basically bootstrapped the whole operation. Okay, then last one, modular product deployment, NCAR, National Center for Atmospheric Research, conception to delivery in 5 months. PUE target was 1.2, and they have it beat, and they expect to even beat that more. So again, a round of applause for our honorable mentions. And I hope you're just making notes here, because there is a challenge before you. And that challenge is simply to not come to conferences to gain additional esoteric knowledge. The challenge is to take the knowledge, to go back and do something with it. So as we look at this, there are so many places where you can start. There's so many choices. And there's so many things, there's so many options, so many solutions. And all of them are useless if you don't take the initiative. So I'll challenge you right now. Will you be an applicant for the Green Enterprise IT Awards next year? Will you be up here being recognized by your peers for perhaps your courage, perhaps your leadership, perhaps it's just some good, solid, hard work engineering? I hope you are, and I realize now that the bar is open. Thank you very much, John Saby and the Saby Data Center team for sponsoring the event.